So our current administration is proposing that we eliminate capital gains tax on home sales.
So I have a question. What happens if capital gains tax gets eliminated?
Well, I mean, there's pros and cons to it, right? I mean, this is not just a lightly subject. Obviously, eliminating it would benefit real estate. I guess there's a pros and cons to that as well, too,
Right,
right?
right, right.
Yeah, it will help inventory, but it depends on how and what. So let's just go with it. Let's talk about first. Let's talk about what's happening currently. Okay, so currently the capital gains tax still exists. We still have that, and what it is for a single filer, it's up to about $250,000 in profit.
Correct.
They can exclude in their income taxes, and for married couples, $500,000, $500,000, right?
Yep.
So they're saying that the proposal would be to eliminate that completely. So if you sell a home, you wouldn't have to pay tax on that gain, right? And remember, these laws have been around for a long time, and it hasn't really accounted for inflation. So, like in the Bay Area, nothing in the Bay Area, like our properties that are bought like 10 years ago for $500,000. I mean, there's more value there. There's more money there, right? So they would have to pay tax on it, right? So, I mean, it'd be a plus thing for people in the Bay Area. I mean, it'd be richly, right? I don't know.
Well, it really helps people who can afford a
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
First of all, you own your home, and being in the Bay Area, of course, it appreciates. Yes, it'll have a little dip, but then eventually it gets back up there. And sometimes, let's just say you bought a home in the 90s, right, in Daly City. You paid $250,000.
Yeah.
Now, easily any home now in 2025 in Daly City, they start list at 1.1, 1.2. Think about how much profit you made.
Right. So yeah. So if you look at it from that perspective, I mean, does eliminating that help? Right. Let's look at the core of this thing. How much is that being taxed? Right. So let's say if it's $500,000, so on the next $250,000, $300,000, you're paying tax on it, right? You're paying state tax and federal taxes.
Yes.
Because it's considered ordinary income at that point.
Right.
So if you eliminate it, I don't know. I don't have the portion of what it affects in overall income. I think last year in 2024, I think the IRS collected around, I think, a little over $5 trillion in taxes, and the not property taxes, the income tax is a good portion of that, and I think there's a smaller portion of that belongs to specifically to capital gains for home sales, because remember there's gains for stocks and bonds and all the other stuff too, businesses and so forth as well, but the gains for home sales is very small. So it's a small portion. So if you eliminate it, where are they going to make it up from? How are they going to make it up? Because right now every single thing is, let's get rid of this, let's get rid of that, right? And we got this big beautiful bill that passed, and which is also eliminating a lot of things, right? So how does eliminating this help? Maybe in the short term.
Yes.
Maybe it helps in the short term, but what happens in the long term? Okay, let's say, so in the short term, we eliminate this. Let's say it passes in the next month or two, right?
They got Republican Congress.
They do. Yeah. So what happens? All of a sudden, people are free to sell their homes. They're no longer sort of tied down. They're saying, okay, hey, I can sell my home. I don't need to worry about the interest rate anymore.
I don't have to do a 1031.
I don't have to do it. Oh, yeah, that's another thing we can talk about. We should bring up as well, too.
Yep.
But, okay, so I don't have to worry about paying taxes on my thing. I'm going to sell the property outright. I don't care about the interest rate. So all of a sudden, you would have a influx of inventory coming on the market, right? More properties will pop on the market.
Yep.
Right? Because people are like taking advantage of it for different situations, right? Maybe they want to do something else. They want to buy a property. They want to buy a boat. Whatever. They want to buy a boat. Whatever.
Right. Yeah. But okay, so because there is no capital gain, they don't have to worry about paying taxes. I just from what I see,
yeah,
homes are going to get listed higher because people want to make more money. They're not going to get taxed on it.
Right. But on the same argument, I don't know. I think I sort of disagree on that part, because as you put these properties on the market and the rates stay where they are, which is about 6.8%, right?
Still, yeah.
So imagine that nothing happens on the rate front, right? It doesn't get cut. We're still
Powell's still there.
Sticky. Powell's still there. He's
yep.
for whatever reason, he's like, fuck it. Maybe it's integrity at this point, or maybe he just doesn't want to shift the market into chaos, whatever, right? So now you have inventory rising, but the rates are still high, and people are not buying, right? So what does that do for property values, right? Aren't the values going to come down? Yeah,
Yeah, they
values
have
will
to
come
lower the
down.
price.
Property prices will have to come down in
Yep.
order to meet the demand where buyers are willing to take on that 6.8% or 6.2% or whatever
Right.
that is, or
Whatever.
FHA is a little lower
Right.
than that. So I don't know. But on the flip side of it, you eliminate the capital gains tax now, and slowly the rates starting to come down. Let's say mid next year, maybe towards the end of the year, the rates are under 5%.
Or Owen Powell gets fired.
His term's up
Yep.
next year in May, so somebody else comes in, but they're not going to come in and just start cutting rates 1% at a time. They're going to do 0.25, maybe 0.5, or maybe 0.75 or something, right? To bring it down slowly. The bond market will react, the rates will fall. So now you have no capital gains tax, rates are lower, buyers are jumping back in. So yeah, there's demand right now. People are just selling properties left and right. So property values probably will jump up again because it'll become competitive again.
Yep. Yep.
But you brought up a good point too. What happens to 1031 exchange, right? So right now, currently, 1031 exchange is classified as it's investor-owned instrument, right? It's so if you own a second home or investment properties or something, right? You sell a property, you stick your funds in a 1031 exchange, and then you have 6 months to use that 1031 exchange to buy an equal or more property of what you sold it for. So if you sold it for $1 million, you have to buy it equivalent to $1 million or $1,001 or higher.
Right.
So, but that would go away, right? Or unless you classify some sort of rule in the elimination that says
There's going to be a lot of discussion on this.
Right. It's not going to be easy, right? This is what I'm talking about. It's not going to be
easy. You just can't get rid of something.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just play the devil's advocate, or let me play the devil's advocate. Okay, great. You and I think as realtors, okay, in our profession, we want to sell homes, we want to list homes, right? We want sales.
Right.
And because of this situation, if they get rid of capital gains, it's actually beneficial for the both of us and everybody out there, right? Right?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, temporary. We're talking about temporary, right?
Temporary.
There's going to be
not with the rates where they are, but if you bring down the rates, yes.
Yes. I mean, we're gonna be super busy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Now, but in the long term, the government needs to have money to function.
Yeah. There you go.
All right.
Yep.
All right. We live in the Bay Area. Yep. Our tolls are always going up every year.
Yeah.
Okay. Our bridge tolls. I think
it's
$15 already for me. One way.
To live out here right now. Yeah, it is. It's pretty expensive.
Okay. And somehow the government needs to pay for itself to function. Yeah. So not just tolls.
Yeah.
Public transportation like BART, ferries.
Yeah.
Everything that you need to use, bus passes, but riding the bus, everything's going to go up because we need to pay for it.
Yeah.
And it falls on the people who don't own property now.
Right, but at the same time, I mean, yeah, if you can cut down on services that not need to be there, then maybe we can bring the cost down. But it's easier said to be done, right? I mean, we're doing that now, but not everything's coming down the way we want it to. But yeah, I mean, end of the day, yes. So we have. I mean, we currently, if you look at it, so you can have some sort of exclusion in there too that states that something like, if you haven't lived in the property in the last 2 of the 5 years, we have something like that right now.
We do.
But if you haven't lived in the last 2 of the 5 years, you can't take advantage of the 100%.
Right, because you're not using it.
Because you be treated as an investor. Like in California right now, like if you buy a property as an investor for 18 months, you have to provide, like, if you're going to sell it, under 18 months, you have to provide like documents and stuff, like especially if you flip in a property, right? How did you do it? Was it contractor used? Was permits pulled and whatever? So you have to disclose all that information right now, right?
Yep.
And then after that, you don't. So you can employ something like that in the bill too, that states like, okay, if you haven't lived in the property in the last 2 of the 5 years, you can't use 100% of the tax write-off. Right. So I think there's ways to do it, but you're right. End of the day, like what's going to happen down the line? I mean, who's going to pay for it? I think average people. I think
Your taxes are going to
taxes
go
going to
up.
have to go
Yeah,
up, right?
yeah.
I mean,
I
it's
mean,
one. It's one. Yeah, it's
we,
a
we
trade
talked
off. It's a trade off,
we talked about home insurance.
right?
Okay,
Hundred
our home
percent.
insurance has jumped up 3 times in the state of California.
Yeah,
Some states have really low, but
but some states are even higher though.
there's some states it's
Yeah,
even
like
higher.
Florida and Texas are even
Right.
higher, I believe.
But those are red states and they are debtor states.
Yeah,
We are creditor states in California. We put, what is it, $80 billion to the federal government.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
I mean,
credit. I'm going to steer away from the politics here, and
no, but what I'm saying is, it has to balance out. If
right.
if this is going to be low, this has to come up a little bit so that budgets get balanced.
Right, no, 100%. So the other day, I made a sort of a reel like this too the other day, and somebody asked a question, or somebody posed a
Was it on
answer.
TikTok or Instagram?
One of the two platforms,
Okay.
right? And they said, okay, why don't we eliminate property taxes?
Ooh.
I mean, I get it. Once you buy a property, it's your property. Why the hell should you pay tax on it? I get it. I get it. But then, how do you run local governments and stuff, though? Because our local governments depend on these dollars, right?
Yeah.
They depend on that local collection.
Sales tax. If you got rid of sales tax, what's going to happen?
Well, yeah, if you get rid of property taxes, then you would have to increase taxes somewhere else, right? Sales tax or some sort of bond.
Right.
Or
One way
some
or
sort
the
of
other,
measure
it's
or
going to have to
something.
balance out, as we
Because remember,
always say.
property taxes from schools, I mean, all the essential services that are local, like firefighters and police and all that stuff too. So
Okay, let me
I
jump.
I just don't think you can
let
do
me
that.
let me jump in. If there's a new community being built, all right,
Yeah.
like all this builder just buys this
Yeah.
piece of land, starts building numerous homes.
Yeah.
You need to function that once the homes are built, you need a community that has schools, fire department, police. That we have a special tax called the Melrose
The
Act.
Melrose Act, yeah.
Right. That actually funds this new community. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Just for that community, if you want choose to live there, you got to pay Melrose.
Yeah. And which can be higher too, and it goes up and down, right,
Right.
depending on the needs of that community. But yeah, I mean, end of the day. So going back to answering that question, I don't think you can eliminate property taxes at all. I don't think you can. I don't think any city would be opposed for it. I don't think any state will do it. Maybe some other states can consider that, but here in California, I think we heavily
Because our
depend on that.
property is a big
Yeah.
investment for most.
Yeah, I
Actually,
mean-
for every homeowner.
Yeah, yeah, and they rely on it heavily. They rely on it heavily. Yeah. So going back to capital gains tax on home sales, I mean, I'm personally, I'll say this, and I'm just gonna give you my personal opinion. I'm partial to it. I think it would help. I think it would help the market. I think it would help the short inventory squeeze that we have in California for a very long time. I mean, we had it because of the pandemic. I think the supply was leveling off in 2019 towards the end of the year, but as soon as the pandemic happened, right, people stopped selling, and then all the other shit happened, and then property values shot up. But I think looking back at it at the 2019 numbers too, we just don't have enough homes in California. We get a lot more people here, but we don't have a lot of homes.
People are still
So-
coming to the state. Everybody talk about people leaving the state. It's
Yeah,
actually we
that's-
still have people coming to the state.
That is very true. And so I'm partial to it. I would want, I mean, I'm for it too. I mean, if we can eliminate, because I don't think it's a huge portion of it. I mean, yeah, it might affect down the line. We might see a difference in terms of the overall taxes being collected by the IRS. But I think right now, to incentivize the market, I think it's a good incentive to give to homeowners and say, okay, hey, you can sell your property and you don't have to pay tax on it. But at the same time, I think if we eliminate it now at this point and keep the rates high, I think you'll have an opposite effect. I think you'll
Or
double-edged sword.
adjust the numbers. Right now, if it was a single homeowner, it's 250 is the limit, right?
maybe
And if
make it higher. You think?
yeah, I mean, instead of completely gutting it,
Yeah, that's
you know,
true. That's
you know,
another way to
that-
look at it.
that still the government gets something back, and the homeowner doesn't have to pay that much tax.
So what would you increase it to?
All right, right now
For
it's
a single
250 to
filer.
500, right? For single file, it's 250. Married couple is 500. I would maybe add another 100, 150.
Okay.
Because okay, look at this. We live in the Bay Area. Average home prices, where in reality, it's
But I- but I-
1.2, 1.3,
Right,
1.5.
but you have to look at it from the whole of the
Right.
nation too. You can't just say California.
Yeah, I
only,
know,
right?
I know, but
Because not everywhere else will you have.
But-
so people buy properties in Indiana and stuff, right, for $250,000 because I know I have some
That,
family
yeah,
out there,
I know.
and their gains are not that high, right? So
Right.
like if you say let's make it, I don't know, $400,000, like they're never going to reach that point, right?
So they don't pay.
So they don't pay automatically,
Yeah.
right?
So
But
that's okay. I mean, because they're first of all, they don't make that much money, right?
right,
Their salaries most probably lower. Their hourly is lower.
yeah, 100%.
So to be fair, I mean, yeah, we live in a very high income area,
And it's
generating
not
area,
only
right?
us. I mean, there's other states too. You
Right,
got New York, and you got
right, but those who can afford pay a little bit more.
okay.
That's
So
how
you
I
would
see it.
take it to $400,000 for a single filer,
Yeah, 400, 350 around there,
and then what would for the other one, like 750? Going over a
I would
million?
do 8 or 750.
Okay,
No,
nice.
because it's I don't believe in totally gutting government. I mean, everybody says government sucks, right? Well, government can be tweaked to be better.
That's
Okay,
true.
here's something I want to digress, okay, guys. I went to DMV,
Oh no.
drop off what I owe in a check. Guess what? I went to 2 DMVs only after the first one. They didn't tell me anything. They said, "Oh, we don't have a Dropbox anymore." So I said, "Oh man, I got to go to the next one, right?" So I go to the next one. He goes, "Oh, we don't have Dropbox anymore. You need to mail it." That first DMV could have told me that I could have mailed this stupid check that I owe them money.
I don't know if that's a funding issue.
I know, but
That sounds more like
no,
a
but it's
training issue,
yeah,
right
that's
there.
exactly what I'm saying. Government can be trained, can be tweaked.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
that's training issue. But anyways, I don't know. That's what we think, right? So I think end of the day, it can help. It will help the housing market for sure. But again, rates have to be in compliant of that.
yeah. Well, I actually here's another thing. My feeling is I trust Jay Powell. I think he knows what he's doing. He doesn't just fly by his pants, right? So he has a group of people who actually do the math,
Yeah,
right? And they need to project. So I think, yeah, as much as our rates are high right now,
yeah,
but I think that as you said, maybe beginning of next year.
yeah. But at the end of the day, I mean, remember, there's nothing. It's a misconception too. Yeah, that he has the power to reduce the overnight rate, right? The federal funds rate. I mean, that's what sort of moves everything else. But end of the day, I mean, it's the bond market that
Yep.
controls it, right?
Yep.
No one person has the power. Yeah, he can reduce the rate and have a little bit of influence, but at the end of the day, he can cut the rate, and bond market can react before or after, probably likely before. But if you come up with next month with a sticky inflation report, the bond market is going to do the opposite again,
Yep.
right?
Again.
So again, it's a very sticky situation, right? Even if they cut it a little bit, it's not like all of a sudden we're going to go down to the 5% rates, right? It's going to take time.
Well, our illustrious leader wants to cut 3%, which is nuts. He wants to go like Europe, but look at Europe. It's not,
Yeah,
it's not
I
the
mean, I can
States.
understand why he wants more progress.
Of
to be
course,
done by his
everybody
administration.
knows.
That's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
if I can't speak for him, but I mean, I'm just speaking specifically for the bill. And
But
what
I'm
it would,
saying when you
what it
cut
would
rates,
do.
you got to cut it responsibly. That's how I see it.
Right. So I don't know. That's sort of the nutshell of what it can and cannot happen. I don't know. What do you guys think? Drop us a comment. Maybe
Yeah. We
put
would like to
something
hear
down
from you
there. We want to hear
guys.
from you guys.
Yeah.
You think it's a good idea to cut, capital gains tax on home sales completely, or maybe there should be a new bandwidth, maybe increase the cuts to something else, like Mike suggested.
Or maybe that guy that mentioned cutting property tax. Let us know what you think.
All right, that's it. See you guys.
See ya.